Well, good morning. This is my morning dew. This is how I usually look every morning. I did stick some lipstick on, so there you go. I've got some color. Anyways, I wanted to pop on here because I was just doing my morning meditation in my journal. And I don't usually record those, but I am trying to get better at sharing that part of my practice, my daily practice. It's personal and it's quiet and it's all mine. So, and I normally don't do it in this space where I have cameras. So, it's going to take me a little while to transition to showing that every once in a while. I'm not going to do it daily, but every once in a while. But anyways, this is what I wanted to share with you right now. So I'm sitting there doing painting in a drawing that I had actually done on one of my other morning meditations, and I didn't paint it. Sometimes I just draw, sometimes I draw and paint, and sometimes I'll come back and paint. It just depends on the amount of time, but also it really depends on the mood that I'm in. So I'm going to flip over and show you what I was working on. So this is my current journal that I started. I usually have like 3 or 4 journals going at a time, depending on my mood. I pick which one I want to work in. This one I started a couple weeks ago, and I always love to feel the texture of the book. Whatever book I'm working in, I try to feel that texture and get in the mood. And then, really embrace the plant stains that are on those pages. And I should clarify that my meditation journals are all of my plant stain journals, my earth journals. Those are the only journals that I use as far as my writing and my art making, as far as meditation's concerned, or personal drawings and sketches and all that. Obviously, number one, because I've made them. But number 2, because the surface and the designs really inspire where my intuition goes. And so this was a drawing. It says "cheer yourself on" the side. It's in pencil, so I'm not quite sure you can read that. But this is just a little a gal with, instead of pom-pom, she's got flowers there and cheering herself on. This was so funny. I did this one on the plane to Maryland a couple weeks ago, and this popped out first, this kind of little creature. And I thought, you know what, let me get a little closer. And I thought, well, she's just fabulous. I loved her eyes and I loved her lips. And then I had this idea. I was reading something or listening to something, and I had this idea that this was about 2 images. One on what you look like on the outside, and one on how you feel on the inside. And so with this creature, I demonstrated that her inside was this beautiful mermaid, but more importantly, were these flowers that were blooming and blossoming and growing. And on the outside was this creature, of course, beautiful eyes, and these kind of droopy plants in a vase that she was just so proud of and so willing to give. And I just felt the metaphor was just, gosh, I don't know. I just felt the metaphor was just so important about, it's really about how we feel and how we see ourselves inside. And that's what we present to the world, regardless of what we actually look like. And I love the way that this came together, because there's no face on this mermaid, and yet the face is on this creature here. And there's just part of a body on this creature, but yet the rest of the body is here. And then the blooms of the flowers, where here it's all about the droopy leaves. I just felt like that was, I don't know, I was pretty proud of that one. Especially since I was, how many thousands of feet up in the air in an airplane, and that just kind of rolled out. So anyways. So I was doing my practice. This is one I did over a couple days. I wrote yesterday, but I had actually done the drawing and the painting before. But I was working on this one. So this was a drawing that I had done sometime in the last couple weeks, and I never painted it in. So I usually use these vintage pastels in my meditation journals, in my journals that are personal, and they're by Prima Marketing, and Art Philosophy, I think, is what they changed their name to right now. And so if you notice how just gorgeously calm these colors are, and they're a perfect partner to my earth journals. I love the fact of when I create, I am creating in tandem or in unison, I guess, with the earth, with Earth's designs that come out from the plant staining process. And these are hand-dyed pages that are on the interior of this book. So the cover, and then there's a center page that are all plant stained, and there's other pages that are plant stained, and then the ones that aren't plant stained are actually hand-dyed with herbs and some other things. So I love the vintage pastels that the colors just kind of just reiterate the mood that I'm in when I'm working in here. And so they're very calm, and they don't distract from Mother Nature's work. They just cooperate with it, I guess. They just feel like they I don't even know the right word. They just complement each other so well. So I was creating this page. I was painting this page today, and the yellow here was just not bright enough for the sun that I wanted to share. And I really hesitate to go into any of my other palettes because it tends to take a turn for too bright that I don't want. But this I love, and so this calm yellow, it's called Golden Glow, perfect name for it. I had done, and I left it wet, and I actually videotaped this, so I will show this videotape later. But then I used some of the terracotta with it, and it still wasn't getting very bright. So then I pulled in my Odyssey set and figured, I'll just use a little bit of the gold. And that's what brought out that beauty, and that's also what made me think about these next reflections. Wow, look at the difference. The difference to me between the two of these is remarkable and very telling. These colors in the Odyssey set, along with several other sets, are what I use to teach my art journaling classes with. They are constantly in flow. I am using 3 different palettes at a time. I am going from color to color. I'm getting colors from one set into another set because I don't rinse my brush off very well. It's just a very fast-moving, fast-paced class. And even when I record my art journaling classes, if I ever record any that are not live, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still using those same palettes. I'm still working pretty quickly, and those colors are bright. Whereas in my morning meditations, or really I do them not just in the morning, at different times of the day, sometimes depending on what my schedule is. But it is all about tranquility. It is all about calmness. It is about slow moving. It is quiet. I don't have any music playing. I don't have any sounds except the dog sounds if the dogs are in my studio. It's just a very tranquil time for me. And look at that difference. I mean, this is, if I could demonstrate the different parts of they're not different parts of my personality, but the different parts of who I am through the day. And I look at this really as my newfound understanding that I'm actually not an extrovert, I am an introvert. And so this is very metaphorically descriptive of that as well. So when I'm on, meaning when I'm teaching, when I'm producing, when I'm presenting, when I am even when I'm in person teaching, selling my art, whatever it is, at a gallery, the museum, Disney World, where I have spent many years selling my art. This palette is very much how I feel, how I am. Bold, from one to the other without rest, pretty much off the cuff, so I'm mixing different shades in, and just really trying to be engaging in so many ways with a variety of people and what pleases them. And then when I go to myself, this is my palette. This is my palette. There are, of course, lavenders and mauves, and I love the grays, and I love the light blues, but the whole thing is about tranquility. It's about peacefulness. It's about being alone, which I love to be alone. I love to do things on my own because it just, my brain is always creating and always rotating its wheels, and I feel like, or I should say revolving its wheels, and I feel like I need that downtime, a good bit of it, on a daily basis. More so as I get older, and possibly it's a reflection of 21 years of homeschooling and teaching school before that, and almost 5 years at Walt Disney World, and 5 years at my own retail studio. I mean, just decades of being on without very many opportunities to turn off from the world. I am turning off so much more now, and this is my palette. So I just wanted to share that with you. I just wanted to really emphasize the fact that you could have so many different elements that you are drawn to in your day, and so many different elements of your personality that you play during the day. And I really say play because it is a role playing, isn't it? When I used to think that these titles defined me: teacher, artist, entrepreneur, retail shop owner, boutique, whatever it is. They're all parts of me, and they're all hats that I wear. But in my wise older age, I have figured out that I'm bringing myself back up to the surface. I am revealing more of myself. I'm unearthing more of myself. I'm more natural. And what that means is that I'm really enjoying myself. I'm really enjoying the peacefulness, the quietness, and all of that brings. So even though I have another video that I shot today, let me go ahead and share with you what I can show, I guess, that is really showing a little bit more about this. So this was the one that I did today, and this was after I pulled my oracle cards for the day, and it was just so fitting. And again, it's very intuitive, but I wrote balance and self-care, and sometimes the only hat I need to wear in the day is the one that is my personal crown. And actually didn't realize that I have a couple rhymes in there. I didn't intend those to be. And as I'm looking back at her, she's almost giving me this kind of Batwoman vibe a little bit about, and I guess the metaphor there is saving myself. But this again is using the vintage pastels. And then just to reiterate, this is what I wanted to share with you, is that this was last night's. Let me see if I can zoom out a bit. There we go. This was last night's, it's not done yet, but we did brooms. We did the history of brooms, the symbolism of brooms. This is part of our Enchanting October. But look at the brightness of the colors. And so much of that was from this set, plus gouache. But, there's definitely a difference between that and this. And I need both. I definitely need both. But where I would think that this would be my fuel because it's bright and it's bold and it's strong, this is my fuel. This is my fuel. My plant stained papers that are so tranquil and connecting to earth, my earth journals, and the softness of the work I do in these pages are just the energy that recharges me and refreshes me so that I can come back and give what I need to give to guide all of these practices in art journaling. And I mean, look at, the brightness of colors after going through the other journal. What a difference. So I'm going backwards. I have no idea. I think there's some things I haven't finished in here, but this is my art journaling book from, I can't remember when I started this, and I teach every week. So this is full of all kinds of journeys and adventures that we've taken each week, which I'm very proud of. And I really love the enrichment that I teach from, because I give a cultural aspect to each spread. But how interesting is that of an observation? And I've been doing this for decades, but I've never really done it on camera, and at least to the extent that I'm doing now. And that just brings out a whole new span of observations about myself that I think are quite interesting. So anyways, I just wanted to share, and I'm all authentic. I mean, this is my morning. I wear this kimono out and about in the world, but I also love to put it on in the mornings, and makes me feel very, very relaxed and kind of very in tune with myself. And so all of this is leading up to kind of a new direction that I'm going to be sharing with people shortly, and more about how to get in touch with yourself and self-care, but also self-nurturing and self-realization. So anyways, have a fabulous day, and I will see some of you for art journaling later tonight, and I'll see the rest of you whenever. Drop me a line, drop me a little comment, and let me know what you think. I'll talk to you later.